My people, yeah, money, yeah, money, yeah, money, and I do anything to my hair today. So I need to actually go do my facials and my eyebrows and get a massage. You know. So I'm actually getting ready to go for my run. You guys, some of you guys who are wondering, like, man, does this girl only talk business? Oh my God, what is this? Um, Happy Saturday to my good people. Today I'm meeting up with some people who've been watching my YouTube channel, so that's exciting. Um, Hello everyone. This is just a regular Saturday here. I'm about to go out for a run, and I figure it would be a good time to just chat before my run. About to do some little exercise here, and then interestingly, some folks are from out of town, and they told me, "Hey, Zoadi, I would like to meet up with you." So I'm like, okay, well, I did not have fans. So anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna be meeting with them tomorrow. I'm excited for that. And then today, I'm just gonna run, and after my run, why is it telling me that? Hello, hello, good morning. Where are you chatting from? I'm actually out here getting ready for my run. That's why I look like a hot mess. But anyway, some of my YouTube viewers are out of hi, Angeline. How are you? How are you? How are you? So yeah, some folks from out of town are, in Oregon, and they would like to meet up with me. Some Liberians want to have like very productive conversation. So I look forward to that. I'm about to go for my run. With all this busy life, you have to put time for exercise, meditation, put God first in all things that you do. If you don't put God first, I don't know what type of life you're gonna be living. Put God first, okay? Because this word is full of so much temptation. And so, yes, put God first, pray, meditate, do yoga, walk around. Your health is your wealth. So, we can do all these things, talk about development, do all kinds of different things. But if we don't have good health, we can't really continue with our purpose in life. So, we got to keep up with everything we can do to maintain good health. Okay, people in Texas, hello, how are you guys doing? Welcome to my live today. Today is just a casual day. I'm getting ready to go for my exercise, so no need to do hair, no need to do makeup. So yes. So anyway, for those who have been so productive in our discussions, that over the phone discussions regarding development in Liberia, thank you so much. You actually inspired me to continue to do this. I just got off the phone with another lady who's interested in the community of my life, of course, all the time, my people. So anyway, I was just on the phone with somebody within the community development, or who wants to join the community development, and I was telling her that within God I trust. When w- it- with long life, of course, I look forward to really taking this community concept all across Liberia. With long life, of course, because it's not just Brother Roswell. It's a movement that is bigger than me. It's bigger than those that are signing up now. It's something that we're going to look back on many years to come and say, wow, this change started from just this simple little place, Burrville, and now look where it is in Grand Bassa County, it's in Sino County, it's in Lofa County. We're going to see the change, and this to me is how we will make an impact on the country on the larger scale without being involved or politically involved, right? Or heavily politically involved. So yeah, so I'm actually really inspired too by people who are joining. Like my grandma was saying, "Oh my God, my granddad, thank you so much." Back in the day, with Liberia is this, but now Liberia is that, and this concept is actually going to help. And so I can't do this by myself. That's why you guys are very vital to the movement. And I always have to say thank you and appreciate y'all. Don't worry, I'm about to go for my run. That's why I'm on this live for a little bit to talk plenty to my people. So anyway, there's a question Q&A. You guys can ask me any questions you would like. And I shall answer. Okay. So somebody coming this morning and they're like, well, what inspired you to do this? And I obviously told them because I don't like my country looking the way it is. And that's one of the reasons. And of course, because I have the ability and I'm still very alert to make an impact, and it's never too late to make an impact. And for those who are older and saying, Emma, I'm retired, I'm about to be retired, I can do this, it's too late for me. And look, it's never too late for you. As long as you have air to breathe and God gives you long life and all that, it's never too late to make an impact. It's never too late to go to Liberia and say, you know what, and gather kids and say, come here, let me read to you guys. It's never too late to encourage a young man on the street, a young woman on the street. It's never, never, ever too late to make some type of impact. It may not be developing, it will be mentorship. If it's not mentorship, it will be just sharing your ideas across to the newer generation or people who maybe have lost their way. So yeah, your impact is very vital across different generations. And so, like I would say, we move. Any other questions you guys have, please do not hesitate. I had a good conversation today. Oh my God, how sure are you I'm not even married? That's the question. That's the question. I believe I don't think okay, so we all have preferences in our lives, right? I have a preference to I have a preference to marry a man who is God fearing, right? I have a preference to marry a man who has good morals. I have a preference to marry a person from Liberia because of similar background, similar culture. However, though, I believe that with my life and how it's going, whatever it is, I don't think I'm so fixated on that my husband being Liberian. I think is more so somebody who does have good morals, who has love for family, for God first of all, and that we can be a collective. That's it. So that's really it. I don't discriminate, but I have a preference. So anyway, that's besides the point. Thank you, my friend, for admiring my work. I'm very inspired by your work. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. With God, all things are possible. And like I said to somebody this morning who wants to be a part of the community, always say that with long life, we can do so much. We can achieve a lot. And so, anyway, what other questions you guys want to ask? Oh, that have been frequently asked within the last few weeks. Oh, construction company. So some people want to know if they get into the community, if they have to build with my construction company, or if my construction company can work with them. Look, my construction company, this is business, okay? Yes, I love it. I love it. Going to Liberia in February to start a coaching firm since I'm a relationship coach. I love it. If you need help with anything, this is the kind of stuff I like. Um, Let me know. Even if it's not a direct help, I can do always reference this person, that, this and that. I'm definitely willing to help with people that have different ideas and bringing different things to the country. It's always a nice thing. Um, what was I saying? I have lost my thought. Um, yeah, lost my thought. Mm. So anyway, yeah, I lost my thought. Yes, I have a farm in Liberia. I have two farms in Liberia. One is for egg production, which we're trying to increase on a bigger capacity. And then the other is intended for pineapple processing, but within the last within the last quarter, I've just been trying to rethink some production, and because I want we want to focus heavily on exporting, but at the same time, you can't focus on export if your country still lack, food, and and your country is insecure when it comes to food. So it yes, profit is good and all that, but we have to still feed our country, people within our country. And so that is something that I'm working on heavily, to see if we can increase capacity to be able to supply within the country before I can even start exporting. um yes, so that's the question regarding the farm. Hmm. Do you have a okay? I've been telling so many people about you. People are so negative about you. Beautiful. Okay, I'll come back to that question, Deshaun. Okay. Um, I've been telling so many people about you. People are so negative about our beautiful country. You know, um, in order to, yeah, in order to really, the negativity will exist, right? Because according to human nature and according to science, our brain is already created to be negative. So we are already predisposed, or I would say. So we are already consciously meant to be just created that way, or just how things have been progressing to be negative. Okay. Then you add a brain to the mix. Okay. Then you increase the negativity more. Some Liberians, don't want to generalize now because people are different all across, are negative based on their own experiences. Okay. And so, because they experience this, so their brain automatically thinks that everything about that place is negative. And then there are others who are just quickly influenced by what another person says. So if I, for example, go to Liberia and perhaps somebody stole from me, the next thing I'm gonna do is come back to where I am in the diaspora or wherever, maybe leave Liberia. And I'll come back and say, "Oh, that country people can steal too much." That is my one single experience, but then I have generalized the whole country and say everybody in that country can steal. This is this I always say, in order for Liberia to change, we must reframe our mindsets about the place. Then I go into the thing of Liberians are still very traumatized. Okay. Liberians are still very traumatized from childhood, lack of attachment with their parents, the war, poverty, different circumstances that have led them to continue to be traumatized. And we need to desensitize ourselves. But in order for that to happen, we Liberians need to say we have problem, and that is the first step. So sometimes when I hear some Liberians start to be negative about the country, as a person who does root cause analysis for hospitals, I perform root cause analysis when Liberian people talk to me. I don't talk to them loudly that I'm doing that analysis on them. I just listen to them, and then I try to ask questions, but I'm doing a root cause analysis to know where really the problems are, in order to like either not have a decent conversation or just let them just talk and move on by my business. Because at the end of the day, these people are speaking things based on their mindset and based, like, again, their experiences. So if you have a good experience with the country, I have to go get my nails done today too. So many things today. Saturday, I have to go get my facials. I have to go to my massage. I have to go do a lot of things. So if our mind is not desensitized They would go around with this trauma and just telling people how this place is so bad, and it's just become a song that people sing. I, however, believe that if you have positive Liberians, you can make a bigger impact than those who are negative. Let me give you an example. My mother, my mom traveled to this country, the United States, many years ago. And she went to Liberia for the first time in 2010, I believe, 10, 11, around that time. My mom had a bad experience regarding water, drainage system. Okay, drainage. She says water shits all over the place. And then she also had an experience with the sewer systems in Liberia, or perhaps just one system because she was at one place, and lack of bathrooms in certain areas of the place that she was. Then the next time she went there, she complained and talked about city planning, lack of planning. And then typically when she goes, she experiences a thing and she come back. And she said, Mandara, why you keep putting yourself in the country here? Whole day, you putting yourself in like, bro, whole day, that place is not good. So then I asked her, I said, Mom, are you ready to have a solid conversation with me? She said, yes. So I said, what are you doing in Liberia? Oh, my daughter, I have to take care of you guys. I have to do that. And trust me, she did have to take care of us. And she brought us here. We went to school. And then some of us, my sister and I, we think differently when it comes to Liberia. And of course, I'm more heavily involved in my sister trying to strengthen herself before she can become involved in Liberia. So, yes, she did take care of us, but that still is not an excuse. But trust me, I've had this conversation with my own mother. So I asked her, I said, Mom, so what is your own contribution? Okay. And then she would say, oh, I did take care of you guys. And I said, but do you still believe you can contribute? Okay. And my mom said, yes, but I don't think it will be that place. So fast forward 2 years ago, I gave my mom a challenge. I said, if you have a vehicle in Liberia and you have a decent place to stay, I want you to come back and tell me how you feel. Okay. My, these two things happened for her 2 years ago. Okay. And then when she came back, I said, Mom, so how was your experience? Oh, my dad, it was better this time. I said, oh, really? It was better this time. How so? Oh, the place I live is decent. This is water, flushing this and that, flushing toilet, da, 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 and the car to take me around. I said, okay. So how do you think about Liberia now? I think the place can be improved. So I'm letting you guys know is their experience and the kind of conversation you have with people can shape how the people feel about the country. So if I can take my own mom down and tell her she's not contributing, and I tell her how she can contribute and change her perspective, any of you can do the same. Fast forward, my mom says, "Oh, Emma, I bought some land." Even though my mom has been asking me to get her land, but I don't do business. I don't do business with family. I don't do business with family. So even my own mom, oh, Emma gave me land. I tell Mom, look for your own land. I don't want to be involved. I will tell you the process. I will tell you what not to do. I don't want to sell land to you directly. But buy some land. Don't put it in my name. Put it in your other kids' name because I have my own properties. I don't want no one to come find me for properties. Just put it in their name. Don't put it in my name. Whatever it is, just do it. I will guide them because I'm the oldest. That's all. But anyway, so my mom then purchased properties and then she tell her sister, oh, I think, when we retire, we need to really see how we need to go to Liberia. We need to see how we can be involved. We need to put our foot on the ground. We are nurses. We need to help the country and blah, blah, blah. It. From I don't want to go back to that country to my mom now telling me, oh Emma, what are some of the opportunities? Oh, da, 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 da. And then I have to start with a positive conversation and for her to reflect what she's doing as well in the country. Because sometimes you don't look yourself in the mirror, but you try to point fingers. So you need to ask yourself, like I said on my live recently, what have you done? What is your contribution? So if I can ask my own parent this, you better believe you can ask whoever it is around you that is being negative. My mom does think like Brooke can improve, but her mindset from previous years is no longer the same. So now she's more of an advocate. She tells her friends, oh, I think, you should buy land, you should develop, or you should go visit the country. My mom, within the last 2, 3 years, my mom have gone to Liberia than she ever did in decades. Okay? So it's about having conversations, positive conversations, reflective conversations with people, and then allow them to really rethink some of their perspectives. But now with us saying you need to be an example. If I wasn't doing anything like that, I'd just tell my mom, say, hey mom, just focus on America. But she sees my effort. She sees how I talk great about the place. And regardless of circumstances, I don't go to people talking negatively about the country at all. That does not mean I think everything Liberia is perfect. That's not true. I'm not blindsided to imperfections, to circumstances, to some things that needs to be changed. I'm not. I'm an optimist. I'm a change agent, and I try to do things within my control to help foster a growth objective. So being negative about Liberia, this and that, it's not going to come to me because that is not even on the list of my priorities. That doesn't mean I haven't tried things like Brother Phil either. But again, as a change agent, you try to modify, you try to research, you try to try different means. And because some of what some of us doing Liberia is making a impact in other people's lives. It's not just our lives. Just last night, I was going over with my supervisor for construction, and he said, "Oh, boss, um, there are two young guys that came to one of the construction site, and they said they want to work." And I said, okay, so then what was the checklist you review with them? Um, he told me, oh, I reviewed, this and this, this and this, and I said, what experience do they have? What's the education level and all of these things? And he went on to say, boss, they're hardworking. Oh, they can do this and that. And then yesterday we went over and over with certain things, and then obviously I told them they could start from somewhere, right? As a helper. Typically, when that happens, I'm going to be referring to trade school. For if you want to be a missing, I don't just hire misses from the street. I hire people who take value into the work, who have actually invested into masonry and can come on board. So, in the course of that, he said, oh, if you do that, you're really blessing them because these boys now they just sit here, they don't really do much. At the end of the day, whether that 2, 3 people are hired to construction company, I am making an impact. These are the things that bring more joy to my life than to sit and be negative about what the country isn't doing, what this person isn't doing, other stuff. I don't care. And so as people who want to see change in life, when somebody come and be negative to you, ask them. This question always gets them. What are you doing in Liberia to make a change? Most of the time, they will not answer you. They will turn their face. Well, they'll start scratching their head. And you probably ask them, "Do you even have less in like what do you have in your head that you're scratching now?" Like in my head though, I just don't say it out loud. Usually, when people are talking to me, like I said, I just listen and I try to find the root. But I'm just also thinking like, what do you have in your head now? That you're scratching your head because now you're just talking foolishness. And so make them reflect on their own actions. My dad is the same thing. My dad is also the same way. But my dad he lived in Liberia longer than my mom. So my dad thinks Liberia is not going to change. because in terms of leadership, he thinks the library is not going to change in terms of leadership because we are so repetitive, putting the same people in power. That, from my dad perspective, is more of political perspective. It's not so much that the country is not going to change in terms of investors and other people coming in to help the country develop. But he has different perspective on that. He just believes that if you if I want to make a change in a government, people are going to be so envious, and it's just going to lead to destruction. My dad also believes that if I say if he believes that when people come in power, they say, well, if Emma took $1 million, what about me? I'm not perfect. I'm not God. So let me go take $10 million. So his thing is like everybody feels like they need to steal. So that's why his perspective, people are not going to change. But then I still ask my dad the same question: Dad, what is your own contribution? Always, always. My dad tend to be silent when it comes to this question. Well, and mom, someone I'll try. He be silent for a second. I said, Dad, if you can answer me, then we'll talk. If you can't answer me, we'll have nothing to talk about. So he says, well, Emma, you know, I live in that country there. Huh. I was a soccer coach, and I was almost about to be Lone Star coach, and those people were biased. And I said, Dad, okay, next. What's next? Well, what do you want me to say? And I said, but what do you see yourself doing in the next few years? That's my question, my dear. So what happened to you before shouldn't deter you from making contribution later. Okay? And so, my dad now started to become more involved into mentoring kids who are coming out to play soccer. Okay, that's his thing. He loves sports. He got his FIFA license, his license. And I said, Dad, whether you mentor a soccer player or whether you go back and start an academy or whether you do this, whatever, you need to make your own contribution instead of complaining about this and that and this and that and this and that. And that's what he does. And then you talk about building house and trying to tell me he won't have 9 bedroom and put me there and get 1 bedroom. That's it, that. But it's so funny. It's so funny. My point is, when you have this reflective conversation with people, they start to think and they start to think and they start to do things. And so this is across my whole family. I do that to them all the time. My grandma's house is almost done in Cowell, actually. Big house. She's been in a big house, and it's almost done in Cowell because you know what? I've had a reflective conversation with her too. And so when you can do these things across people, trust me, you'll be making a bigger impact. Although I need to go for my run in the next 15 minutes. Okay. Um. Okay. So what do you feed your chickens? Okay. So 70% of the feed production is corn. So you have corn, you have oyster shell, you have concentrate, different things that you can put within the feed to feed your chicken for them to produce. Let's see. With our different sphere of influence, we can make Liberia great. I honestly believe that. I think um, America is only great partially because it's like a melting pot. People bring different things to the table, and everyone in Liberia cannot go to medical school. That's why you have janitors, you have engineers, you have doctors, you have mechanics, because at the end of the day, all of these experiences does help to shape the country in a better direction. Um, I think Liberian people got the best answer. Well, color, color. All right, let's see. Negative people have their own issues which they don't know how to deal with. Like I said, yeah, a lot of it is based on their experiences and some things they cannot even solve. And most of it, as it relates to library, is trauma based. People are very traumatized. Like I have a deep conversations with my dad. Sometimes when he try to talk, I said, Dad, maybe you should go to therapy. You really maybe should go to therapy. You're traumatized from the war, and so you're just, it's a flashback thing all the time that you don't even understand. And so we need to start having some of these conversations. Some of these people, they have their own issues, probably don't even have anything to do with what is actually happening in the country now. Um, The problem with people, they are so focused on the government. Yes. Oh my goodness. I tell them to play their part as individuals and not focus on the government. Yes, the government does have a responsibility, right? But look, citizens make up the country. So while the government does have some responsibility to its citizens, the citizen does have a huge role to play. So if the government is not doing the things that we want them to do, one, you can use your power. You have power to change the political climate of that place. And then you also have the power to make a direct impact. So for those that always say, oh, the government have been lied to, look, these are bigger problems, okay? And I believe the government should be active. But I don't want to politicize this channel. But yeah, the government does have a big responsibility when it comes to these things. However, development does not only rely on the government. That's why you see corporations, you have limited liability companies, also proprietary companies. You have different individuals making different impacts. That's why you have NGOs. That's why you have. Are you kidding me? This lady was just dancing. Anyway, that's why you have different entities to come in. If everything was ran by the White House, then you wouldn't have Mark Zuckerberg, you wouldn't have Amazon, you wouldn't have Apple, you wouldn't have Walmart, you wouldn't have McDonald's, you wouldn't have contracted services for infrastructures. You wouldn't have any of these things. So we can only rely on what the government does or government does not do. Yes, the government is symbolic, right? The government needs to set some type of precedent and example, right? We understand that, but then go back to yourself and ask, what are you doing as well as a citizen? Um, I think it's good that you said that you don't want to export in the country or don't have food. Yeah, it's true. I mean, I listen to different speakers all around the world. I follow closely Rwanda cabinet because majority of the people that run Rwanda are women, and I listen to different podcasts regarding Africa's development and women engagement, and there are also seminars that I follow, and then when I had my meeting with the World Bank, the lady who is in charge of livestock for World Bank, this is a conversation I had with her, and I said, exporting is part of our goal, but what do you achieve by exporting when you cannot feed your own people? It's like, why are you trying to send your product outside when your people are still hungry, when your people are still food insecure? So you need to solve it. My grandma always say you need to solve the problem within your backyard first before you move on to another person's place. You need to take the coal from your eye. You know what I'm talking about. You need to take the coal from your eye, but you go tell them they're going now. So we have to feed Liberia, okay? We need to feed Africa. Actually, we're very insecure as it relates to food. And so we can feed ourselves first before we can go on to feed others. And that's why when it comes to export, I'm like, huh? That's a good thing. That's a lot of money. But then there's that element of country, right? For me, that's the element of country. And as an entrepreneur, you're not only in business to to get money, but you're there also to make an impact, to make a change to something that you perhaps have observed and say, you know what, that does need to be changed. Okay, so let's see. People don't value what they have. I think that's really sad. As it relates to Liberia, the saying goes, you don't know what you have until it's gone. You don't know the value of the river until it runs dry. You may not even know the value of Liberia until most other people come and take over it. And then you shall know. Um, Liberia is very green, got the best food in West Africa. I mean, I'm very biased as it relates to food. And some of my Nigerian friends can attest to this. I have some Nigerian friends who've actually, they will sit down and tell you, say, yeah, they will sit among Nigerians and say, wow, Liberian food is actually really better than Nigerian food. I'm like, huh? Am I hearing things? Are you really honest? This is a Nigerian that's very honest about Liberian food. Liberian food is great compared to other African countries. I'm biased because I'm from there. And secondly, I've had other African food and yeah, it's the best. Um, the best ships are from Liberia, Sierra Leone. I don't even know. I'm not a guy. I don't take a look at people's ships. But okay, that's your business. Hey, girl. Hey. Everyone calling themselves Liberians is responsible for development. But the problem is, how about those who are not calling themselves Liberian, right? Those who perhaps passed through Ghana, right? Passed through Ghana and they consider themselves Ghanaian, Liberian. I'm like, huh? How are you Ghanaian, Liberian just because you live there? Like, literally. How do you do that? And you're disowning your own country, your country. And so, yeah, those who are actually Liberian, my staff is texting. Those who are actually Liberians are the ones that carry Liberia within them. It's not just surface. They're only Liberian when they see something being glorified. Just like some people claim Barack Obama only when it's convenient. When it comes to somebody talking, oh yeah, Liberia in the Olympics, or oh this and that, or oh yeah, I'm Liberian, or Telfar is from Liberia, yeah, I'm Liberian, and only when it's convenient, people are Liberian. And for those that carry Liberia within their hearts and minds and soul and everywhere, these are the people that need to be making a difference. Not the people who just want to be in the bandwagon. Hmm. I love colloquial Liberia got the best language ever besides the languages in South Africa. I don't know. Is the president in Liberia Pan African? What are his issues? His values? I don't know about the president. I don't follow the president. Hey Olivia, where have you been, girl? Hello. All we need to do is look for problems within our range that we can solve. If everyone put their 2 cents together, little by little, things will get better. I 100% believe in this, Kidam. Um, it takes a collective to really get this country moving. To be honest with you, I keep saying this. When if we can mobilize as a group, we don't all have to focus on the same thing. Like I said, we are stronger with different set of eyes. That's why people tell you sometimes partnerships are even more better than individual work, because people bring different things to the table. And so if we can bring all these ideas to the table, and not just ideas, right? make Take your ideas and be proactive and do something about your ideas. That's when we will see. But we have to do this as a collective. If somebody decide to start like a shopping center, a movement, maybe you yourself, you can start with, okay, solar panels. Let me do more research. Just investors, let us all find places within our range that this person said, to help contribute as well. If you see somebody doing something, you don't know how to do it, don't try to just copy. Ask yourself, what are you good at? And then capitalize on your skills. Maybe it's even customer service. I tell you this, call centers. I mean, I tell you this, you can be creative with the skills that you have. Sometimes as an individual, sit down and start to write. Okay, am I good at public speaking? Maybe not, but am I good at writing? Am I good at negotiating? Or what am I good at? Maybe I'm good at dancing. Maybe try to sit and put your skills down. You will be surprised. And then you could see how you can convert those skills. They're soft skills, my dear. And you can see how you can convert those skills into something productive. Trust me, all of us can contribute to life in ways that we don't even imagine. Um, okay, let's see. So did they grow a lot of corn like Boba native crops? They don't grow corn at all. This is one of the sad things that I've been talking to some farmers about. Like, why don't you guys look into corn production mainly for the feed? Uh, I don't know. People don't have the capacity. I intend to do some study about this when I go to Liberia soon. But yeah, they don't produce. I don't know, because it's not a staple food. Because Ghanaian love corn and all these other things. It's not. But even the staple food is not even being produced in the country. So I really don't know what the issue is when it comes to farming in Liberia. I met with some farmers the previous trip I went on, and she said, the leader, she said, Emma, we are just underfunded. And I said, but have you tried this? Have you reached out to this person? Have you reached out to this department? Have you, applied for World Bank grants? Have you applied for other grants? The answers were no. So I said, well, you guys are not trying hard enough. And so there are ways to raise funds. If you're really into farming and you need to get your project off the ground, there are so many ways to raise funds. And so these are some of the things that I'm helping farmers with. Now, I don't have the capacity to be honest with you guys. I have a lot of things going on. So when somebody sits with me, I can only just provide them with just snippet of things, refer them, and get going. But yeah, farmers are underfunded. They don't have the money. They don't have capacity. They don't know how to build capacity. They don't know the value chain. They just want to farm. They don't know what they're doing. And so we don't have sufficient stuff. Let's see. His wife is Jamaican and he's close with the other vice president, but I'm not sure other than that. Okay. I never heard a lot about him. Only he was a soccer player. Hmm. Yeah, that's true. I'm with you on this journey. Just call when you need me. For sure, for sure. I really love corn. It's just open. It's fine. It's open for any industry. Yeah. I mean, corn. The thing is, it doesn't even take long for you to produce corn. Corn. That's the thing that shocks me all the time. Why we're not involved. Corn takes 3 months to harvest, and sometimes even sooner. But for some reason, I don't know really. I really don't know. I don't know, but we will find out soon. I think Africa needs to grow more native crops. Sometimes I think Africans want to copy the Europeans so they can do better things with the climate in Africa. I think sorghum is better. It's an overly generalized statement. Um, I mean, if you were to take that statement apart, you would also go back to that. It comes to the mindset. We see some things as better than others. Uh, we have been not brainwashed, but we have been somewhat exposed to thinking that this is better than that. You know, uh, we have we have given less value to our own selves. So yes, most times Europeans, diaspora, what like America, the Europe, and other places are far better, or they produce other things far better, right? Whether it's perception, whether it's true, whatever it is, it's already within our own minds. And so while we have the land to produce food, America doesn't have the land space compared to the continent. But we are not producing. So then you ask yourself, why? Is it technology? Is it lack of infrastructure? Is it lack of money? Is it lack of power? What is it? And then you just start to go deeper into individual countries and assess their GDP and assess what they're producing and what they're not focused on. There's just so many things as it relates to the whole continent when it comes to agriculture that need to be looked at. And Liberia specifically, we don't have the funding across the sector. For farming in Liberia, it's not that it's not attractive. We don't have the funding. When you go to other countries like Uganda or perhaps let's say Kenya, you know, farming is not attractive. It's not attractive to in Liberia. It's not about whether it's attractive or not. We just don't have the funding, and because many people in the county of Bong are farmers. By just seeing people farming and learning a little bit about the soil, but some of them don't even know about the soil they're planting. Some of them just plant things because they want to plant. Because oh yeah, the place is wet, oh, the place has a nice mother. They don't even know the composition, so they just what? I'll just plant. And then sometimes you see that stuff they planted die. And then they wonder why. And so we talk and say, oh, we have good climate for rice and all these things. Actually, you need to determine which land is it upland or lowland that you need to be planting the rice. So some of these things we don't understand. We don't have the funding to get the experienced people to come and help us. Um, Who is texting me again? All right, I have 2 minutes. Um. Uh-huh. It all comes back to the mindset, okay? It comes to the mindset because let me tell you something. Excuse me. This is our mindset. We need to be able to rethink certain things when it comes to food and what is good and what isn't good. Okay? When you go to the grocery store, the most expensive aisle is organic food and fruits. Fruits, vegetables, those are more expensive because what? The mind tells you those are healthy. The doctor tell you that's healthy, and you've been told that organic is good. Whether it has been approved as actually organic or not, your mind is already programmed to believe that organic is good. So how organic it is, you don't care. As a consumer, you're just consuming things based on what you've been told. Africa, on the other hand, or Liberia, on the other hand, we are so programmed to know that food from other places more nutritious. It has more health benefits. It's good because it's from there. I give this example on my channel all the time. When we first started producing eggs, um, my partner said, Emma, we need to start supplying eggs in the regular boxes that they have in Liberia. And I said, no, we need to start supplying eggs in American boxes. However, I challenged him and I said, we'll do it your way, but your way's not going to win with Liberia. So we started selling our eggs in Liberian or African boxes. The eggs are not selling. I was like, oh yeah, they say, oh, this is fresh egg from the farm. Oh no, we want the egg from Holland. I said, you have 2 weeks for us to sell the eggs, okay? And thereafter, we use my method. It's the mind. What I did, we ordered crits. The crits are the ones that have the 12, a dozen, not the 30, okay? Not the Liberian 30. We ship the 12, the crits for 12. I think it's advertised on our Instagram page. In 3 days' time, all the eggs were sold. He said, then he asked me, and I said, because I have done my analysis on this country already and how these people think. They perceive that egg from coming from Europe. The egg just came from Bombay, right there in Bombay. That's where exactly where that our eggs came from. The same egg they were not buying, the same egg they just bought. They bought it because the box is an American box, but the product is just from right there. But as a person who is in business, you have to define your audience and you have to see what your audience will want. In this case, my audience want American boxes. And at the end of the day, if I want to sell, I will get American boxes and I will sell you a Liberian product. It's a twisted logic, but it runs rampant in our country. Very twisted logic. Tomorrow I decide to put Liberian flag on that. They'll be like, that's a Liberian product. When I want to buy it, I say, look at the people here. They're so funny. But you know what? It's called marketing. You have to market your product. And so we market our product by giving them in an American box and they will buy it. And the money will come right back. So it's just the mindset. The other thing is, the other experience I had in Liberia is a spray perfume. If the perfume is not big, it's fake. The mindset it puzzles me, but then I also understand our people are traumatized. Really. So you take a nice perfume, it's a small little bottle, and the person has a bigger one that is actually fake. They tell you your own is small, is fake. But the big bottle is not fake. So you just go and put water and perfume and put in big bottle and set it as, oh, that's a good one. It's the mind. And that's the issue in our country. Let me just tell you today. That is one of the issues within the country. Before we move forward, we need to help shape that and try to be patient and try to counsel and try to educate, constantly educate. How many times how many times I have to tell my supervisor, even though they signed the policy agreement, the staff review with them every Saturday. Review it with them every Saturday. You think we'll have time to keep doing that every day? But that will need to be the strategy for people to get it in their minds. And that is where you're trying to change. Is the mind you're trying to change. It doesn't go overnight though. You don't change people's perspective or understanding overnight. You have to be gradual and gradual and gradual and keep showing. It become a repetition. Keep showing, keep showing, keep showing. How many times you watch an ad and you immediately decide, oh, you buy that? But when they play that ad 3, 4, 5 times, it's gonna stick in your mind. That's how you need to treat Liberian people. Those that have that mindset. It's almost like you have to baby and baby and baby and baby until they get it. If you don't do that, you'll lose patience. That's how some people start running away from Liberia. Business not good, oh, it's not working, you start crying. Is that crying? You need to study your mind and hire people, my dear, and try to get in their mind. Trying to do a little bit of psychology with the mind. And that's how you will conquer that country when it comes to certain things. But you go there, that people make you so sick the first day, you'll be like, oh, I go home. Me, I'm not going to do business here. You will start crying, calling your people like, bro, it's so bad, not good for business. I beg you. You gotta gradually change the people's mind. And it needs to be gradual and evidence, constant evidence, and constant reminder until you don't even get tired. It should even become your routine to continue to tell them. How many times my staff review policy with construction guys, and sometimes, oh, Ebiko, I forgot my vest, and I say, Ebiko, go and review that thing with them every Saturday. He said, but I had to do it. I said, yeah, it's okay. You just said you had to do it until I show you how not to be had to do it. So you go show them too. So you have to kind of just re-strategize when you're working with people and kind of just constantly to show them, not just tell them, show them what is expected and why it's expected. Let's see. Okay, so I never heard of, okay, let me see what they're talking about here. Oops. They have the native rice or the Asian rice. I have no idea. Someone used to like Pusawa rice, but the Pusawa these days is so white, it's not even funny. Very funny, like, bro. Planning and strategy are some of the things lacking, plus funding, as you put it. Why does who know are not teaching those know how not know better? Mm. They have both. I've watched a video where a girl ordered a native rice in a restaurant. Asian rice is mostly Indian though. Yeah, exactly. Never heard of fonio. Oh, I understand. I like it. I order it. They eat it a lot in Ghana. I think all native foods from Africa are very healthy. I also like baobab. I have no idea what that is. A lot for healthy benefits. Okay, that is cool. I have I have to look into these foods you're talking about. Okay, marketing genius. I saw a video from Ghana that people like canned tomatoes from Italian better than fresh tomatoes from Ghana. It's a the mindset. Where do you get your chickens from? Do you use a local chicken or commercial breed? All right. So initially we started using from. No, we started using from. Initially, right? We started using the ones from BRAC, and BRAC is an organization almost like USAID. They get they used to get a lot of the birds from Holland, and then they caught up. and they started hatching their own birds. And then I was told about Obasanjo. Obasanjo, you guys know Nigerian Obasanjo. Then I told my business partner that we needed to do an analysis, but to see if this analysis would be an affordable loss. An affordable loss is something that you know your business can take. It's not a high risk, it's a low risk. So try to do an analysis. Blackbirds has very low mortality. Obasanjo birds has high mortality. However, Obasanjo birds can produce more chicken eggs. Blackbirds have low mortality, but it takes time for them to produce chicken eggs. So you need to not analyze what loss you want to take as a business person, immediate loss or a long-term gain. So we decided to order fewer Brack and more Obasanjo. When you observe mortality across your birds, you need to ask yourself a few questions. One, is it that my environment is not conducive that's causing the birds to die? Are they picking at each other? Am I giving them sufficient nutrients? Are there other harmful animals that it may come into the poultry building to kill my birds? Then you start to do your, again, I'm such a root cause analysis person. I'm always trying to analyze different things. And try to see what the problem is. So if you notice that this specific breed has a high mortality, then you pay more attention to why they are dying. Maybe you didn't clean the you didn't clean the you didn't change the wool shaving from your poultry. Maybe you have contaminated water. Maybe a harmful animal went into your poultry. So then you check off possibility, 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 and then you observe. And we see low mortality, then you improve on the ones that you've already observed. So, conclusion, we started to have a reduced order of Bragg's birds. Obasanjo birds are hatched there in Cape Mount, and we started to have an increase in the number of birds from Liberia over there. So we faded from having Bragg to having produced birds within Liberia. It doesn't stop there. We used to order feed from Bragg. And then we understand a certain big person decided to tell Bragg they want all the feed to really suppress our production. A certain politician. So when you do your business plan, you need to think about the what ifs. So I had to revisit because I'm in charge of the administration operation, and Kevin is he's more of the field agriculture person. So I will have to go reevaluate the plan. I say, okay, that's why you have SWOT analysis, the threats. This is a threat that I already knew would happen. So we need to start producing our own feed. Okay, because a certain person is coming and telling Bragg they want all the feed. We need to produce our own feed. How do we produce our own feed? We need to produce our own ingredient. We need to have our own ingredients. And so, process of elimination and stuff like that. And so that's pretty much how it went when it came to this poultry farming. So those that are trying to get into poultry farming, you need to really understand some things. It's not just having birds and having chicken eggs. Doesn't work. You're not gonna be effective. You might even have some failures along the way, but you have to keep, like I said, it's like you're babysitting, keep getting things done differently, and keep trying to just re-strategize until you get better. That's how the chicken portrait thing works. I'm not a farmer. Do I look like a farmer? I'm not. But I'm a business person. I'm an entrepreneur who sees problems, and I try to find the best way to solve them. If you don't know something, you get to with people who know stuff. Um, Yep, it do. Yeah, they get sick for many reasons. First of all, you are taking birds from Holland. The moment you put them on the train, they're already traumatized. Those birds, those small chicks are already traumatized. Their system's already traumatized. So you bring them across to Africa, a faraway place, those birds are already sick. Okay? But then we see it as better because it comes from Holland, it comes from Sweden, and we think these things are better. But how do we not think these things are better? What can we do? I always ask, what can you do now? Since you don't want chicken from Europe, what can you do to help alleviate this problem? I'm probably just running too much today. Okay. Um, yeah, you have to You have to definitely give vaccination to your birds, and it needs to be on a time. You need to have a calendar for that. You need to give vaccination to them. You need to give antibiotics to your birds. This whole thing, you need to even take a class for it. Um, so many things. So many things you have to do when you have a poultry farm. Mm, 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 mm. But the goal is to supply Liberia anyway. Um, yeah, there's too many things. There's too many things that can be done. That can be done in the country. So as you guys make the collective efforts to help develop Liberia, working collectively, it doesn't hurt. Well, okay, so I have on this my channel I've talked about community development. Um, on my channel, the land that we have, we're developing or intending to develop because the first community is in Burrava, the second community is in Royceville. The second community that we are trying to develop is actually a beachside community. So currently, for the land we've surveyed for our community members, it's about now 5 minutes distance to the ocean. So we have that going on there. I personally don't suggest people or tell people to buy land in Marshall. I personally have a terrible problem with the place. Um, and other beach sites, communities, other than Brevard and Royceville, I just don't know others. I'm not gonna tell you to go places I don't know. I can only speak of those that I know that is very secure and development can go about. Anyway, we move. It's a little cloudy here today, so this is my run I'm trying to go do outside. I don't know. Um. So yes. So besides Marshall, please don't go put your hands in Marshall. I would say you should do your check, diligent check to see. And those vaccination we also have to buy from Europeans. This is why the countries are so rich. So each thing we should make our own. You should be the one that they're producing a lot of things now these days. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, because um the birds does need the system to be strong, and even the antibiotics you're buying it from Europeans, right? There's some things that are within your control, and then there's some things that are just not within your control at some given point. So kind of have to choose the battle to fight. The battle to fight, do not get chicken from there. The battle to fight is to make the feed. The battle to fight is to find other ways to make the chicken system stronger. Um, those are the battles that are within our control at this point, at least, that we can fight. What else? Yeah, too many opportunities in agriculture. I think you guys can all capitalize on them. Feed your country first. they bring the they bring the sick birds to Africa. They bring a lot of things to Africa, my dear. They bring a lot of things to Africa. I mean, if you were to look at uh, life expectancy, arguably, what do you think the longer life expectancy is? Is it a country that eat directly from the soil, or a country that eat canned foods? Look at Japan. You need to ask yourself, where does Japanese people take their food from? Okay, is it more healthier because it's canned, or is it because they go to the soil and they eat more organic food, like and they engage in other activities? There's just too many things. So yeah, they bring too many things. Too many things. Um, so, right. So yeah. Anyway, if you guys don't have any questions here, then I can bounce. But this has been productive live. You guys are very engaging today. Very engaged with this content. Yeah, my cousin. Okay, I read that already. You guys have any questions before I can go for my run? Mm, 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 mm. Any questions before I can go for my run and go do my facials and my nails and my massage? I have a long day today. Oh shoot. All right, guys. Take care. Bye bye. And if you don't have questions, then I have to bounce out of here. I have to go. All right, it has been a pleasure chatting with all of you. Your questions were very good. Your comments are good. For those who are looking to start things in Liberia, I really give you the biggest applause, because each time you decide to do something, you're making a big difference. Whether you're impacting whether you are impacting one person or two, you are definitely making a significant impact. And that is when I say we move. This lady is literally matching. She's matching her orange. She's matching her whole orange outfit. Anyway, you have a chicken farm, Emmanuel? Where at? Where do you have your chicken farm? I wonder if Karina's gonna be home. Where do you have your chicken farm? Now that I'm about to go, you have chicken farm questions. You have your chicken farm in Bond County. That's a good place to have a farm. The people are right over there into farming. What is your question? Make it quick, cause I'm about to bounce. Oh, I'm about to bounce. Oh, I need to go run some miles. I need to go and run some miles. Okay. Emmanuel, what is your question, sir? Before I can leave this live. Share this live for my people. Share this live. Share my videos. Let people subscribe to this thing. African people don't like Give me not say African people. Anyway, you guys have a good day. Be blessed. Um, cheap chicken. I don't know about that. I mean, they take a lot of they import a lot of things into the country anyway. That's it's a conversation for another day. All right, guys, take care. Bye bye. I have to go for my run.